All right. So it's Monday, July 27th. It's got to be like 10:15 p.m. at this point, but we're still going to do this. We're still going to talk about our goals for this week, what we're trying to do for this week, the intention for this week. Because really, I've been trying to do these on Sunday. But anyway, last week was like a total blur in the best way possible because I went to the beach with my fam and it was so much fun, but I'm still so tired. We just got back last night and it was a late night last night and I pretty much didn't get much sleep all last week either. So today was like we gotta recoup and reset. Which you know what? I think is gonna be the theme for this week is just to reset and get life organized after being all over the place for the past week. So, I think last week's theme was, what did I say? To move slow and to take it all in. Now I do think I took some things in, and by that I just wanted to like slow down and be present. I think being present is kind of hard for me sometimes, especially when I'm like trying to organize things and have like an idea of something I'm trying to execute or do in my head. And that's basically what like last week with our beach trip was with my family. Me and my sister were kind of putting it together. We made like this sort of loose itinerary and stuff what we're gonna do each day and all that. And when you got like a crowd of like 15 people, you want things to go well and to things be taken care of and all that. So, yes, I wanted to be present, but also sort of like, that I had things to do too. So we had a lot of fun. We were in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, which I'd never been to before. I think it's like an hour or so from Wilmington, North Carolina. And it was so cute. It was really so cute. Very much like a small beach town. Growing up, I used to always go to Myrtle Beach, and we still like to go sometimes for sentimental value, but it is very different now from when I was a child, and it's just more crowded, and it's just, I don't know. It's not the same. I don't think any of us think it's the same. And Carolina Beach had a really cute boardwalk that we walked to one night. And they had like different rides and a bunch of different places to eat and like different arcade games, which is good. We had like, my niece and nephew with us too. And even though we really didn't get to do all of that because unfortunately it rained most of the time that we were there, and I think we decided to walk to the boardwalk because everyone was getting a little like stir crazy. Like, we gotta stretch our legs. We need to get out of here just for a little bit. But it was just nice to walk around and see like the big Ferris wheel and to see like the different shops and things like that. And we eventually found like a place to eat. But we did have one solid beach day. We all packed up our stuff, and the beach was within walking distance from where we were staying, the Airbnb, which was really nice, and just set up on the beach and stuff. And then, yeah, after that, I think we just like had like a movie night one night, just sat around and talked. We did a lot of cooking. So, last Tuesday, me and my sister went down and stayed with one of my cousins, who also lives in North Carolina. We kind of just cut the trip because what we did, we checked into the Airbnb last Wednesday, but we got there Tuesday night so that way we could get up early and do like the most of the food shopping for the house on Wednesday before check-in. So we got down to North Carolina on Tuesday. Now we were supposed to leave early. We were supposed to leave early Tuesday morning, and that didn't happen. But my sister, she works 7 days straight and then has 7 days off, so she, was still packing, and I myself was not all the way together either. And so I was like, you know what, sissy, you need a few more hours of sleep, don't you? Let's just leave a little bit later in the afternoon. So that's what we did. So we left Tuesday afternoon. We got to my cousin's house sometime that night. And what we did do, and this was on my checklist from last week, we put together the welcome bags that we had for everyone at my cousin's house. And that was good because it was more hands, and I don't know, we were just like catching up and talking while we were putting together the welcome bags. And inside of the welcome bag, we had the itinerary for, I printed up and put one of those into each person's bag, along with some sunscreen, aloe vera gel, a chapstick, a cozy thing to hold, like your drink or something like that. And then in the cozy, we put a bottle of water, a snack. My sister bought all the stuff for the welcome bag, so I feel like I'm forgetting something. I can't remember. But those were like the main things that went in the welcome bags. And then the welcome bags themselves was kind of like like those old like Adidas gym bag style bags, like the waterproof ones, which, you know, I feel like those could be good to be repurposed or, whatever. A shoe bag, a gym bag, whatever. So those were the welcome bags. And then for my niece and nephew, oh, I said for this video I wanted to print it out, but anyway, it's okay. We're here. But for my niece and nephew, I think I was telling you all that I made sort of like a beach challenge for them. And so, I just got from like Canva, like a really cute sort of like beach themed handout. And then I made a list of like different activities, like find something blue, give someone a high five, build a sandcastle. They're like a bunch of different things, and they had to choose 7 of them to complete. And they would get a prize at the end of each day, and they were so excited to do it. It was so funny. Um, the first day, because it was just 2 full days, so they had like a little handout each day. And the first day they woke up and I was like going over it with them, like, oh, we can win a prize. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. And then they were like working together, and then a couple of the things or like tasks or things to like help in the house or just like good things for them, like drink a glass of water. And they were like, okay, we have to drink our glass of water, and then where's my water, it was so funny. So that was fun. And then we also got them like a sand bucket that had like a shovel and stuff in it too. And I don't know, just like little cute things, coloring book, some bubbles. Um, so yeah, so those were like the things that people walked into or saw when they walked into their rooms. Now we didn't, the timing, again, we checked in on Wednesday, and we wanted to get there significantly earlier than the rest of the family. I can't say it was significant earlier. We probably got there like 15 minutes before one of my aunts and uncles came, because we wanted to pre-assign the rooms. I always feel like whenever you are, in a space like Airbnb and there's a lot of people staying, trying to decide like, or everyone choosing the room for themselves is just like, I feel like it creates so much confusion, especially when you have different, just like different settings. You got couples, you got folks with kids, you got, somebody else who has a different consideration, all this stuff. So I had written everybody's name on a card and then went around and like put the name cards on each door. So that way, when you walked into the Airbnb, you don't even have to think about it. It's like, all right, cool, this is where I'm staying. So as soon as we got there, I was like, oh my gosh, one of my aunts and uncles, like I said, already said they were basically there. So then we ran in, dropped the stuff, and my sister and my cousin started unloading the groceries, and I started labeling all the rooms. And my god sister's husband actually said that was really helpful. So anyway, so that's just a little tip if you're planning something with your family too. I'm also just a big, like, whenever you have like a large group of people, a dinner or whatever, seating arrangements, you know, labeling where people are supposed to go, I feel like just makes things easier for everyone. So yes, everyone came that first night. We made dinner. We just got like, some salmon and made like some vegetables that we roasted since we couldn't have any fresh vegetables, which is the whole thing. Um, some mashed potatoes, which is, all good and easy. And the next day was a Thursday. That's when we did the beach day. and then walked to the boardwalk after the rain some. And then Friday was the next full day, and it was like pouring down rain, like pouring down the rain the whole time. And we tried to, it was like on and off the rain. And we thought at one point it was off and decided to go for a walk. It decided to come back on. We had to run for shelter and all this, but it was still fun. And we just like ducked into a place, found some place to get some food, some drinks, found a place to get some hot, fresh donuts, which was good. And yeah, it's just a really nice, cute time. We took some family pictures. And I'm just thankful, like this life is so busy. It's just so busy, and all of us are doing different things. We don't all live in the same place. And so I just always feel so thankful when everyone can make the trip, and not, every year everyone can. And so it's just that time and the moments that we can be together, I feel like are just so rare and so special. And I just also love, it just warms my heart. The significant others, the spouses of my cousins, they're always so excited about like joining the family vacation and joining like the shenanigans. One of my cousins, her husband was supposed to be getting in, I think it was like Thursday night or whatever, but he had like a really bad, I don't know what it was, something with his ear or whatever. And so at first he wasn't going to come, but then the next day he was feeling better. And this is the family who lives in North Carolina. So he was just a couple hours drive away, and he still drove to the beach house. And I don't think all of us knew. So he just walked into the Airbnb. Everyone started screaming and cheering. Ah! And it was so great. Everyone was just happy to be together, which I love. So then after that, after we left Carolina Beach, we went to Eden, North Carolina, and that's where my grandma is from. My grandma on my mom's side is from Eden, North Carolina. And so my mom used to spend summers there, growing up until she was like in college. So she's always been really close with her cousins down there, and we often go back every so often. And so because we were in North Carolina, we stopped in Eden for a day, and it was just so great. I don't know. Again, not really doing anything. We just like sat around, ate, but it's just always so fun. I don't know. It's just something so special about being around people who just like make you feel good, like they're funny, they're like interested in you, and like you're interested in them and what they're doing, and it's just the energy. And they've always like, I don't even know what level of cousinship, that's what I always say, cousinship this would be, because it's not even like my mom's first cousin, it's like my grandma, like I said, like her first cousins and their children. And then anyway, so they're like older than me, but whatever. It like doesn't even matter. It's just like they've always made us feel like we're family, like we're close family. And I don't know, that just means so much to me. And I'm always so thankful for that. We took a ton of cute pictures, which I said I was going to put into this video, but I don't know. It's probably will just be a yap session that I don't really edit. But we took such cute pictures, and some other cousins heard we were in town, because the other crazy thing about it, this really wasn't planned. Like, we were in Carolina Beach. I think the week had been crazy for my mom. She calls them up the night before we leave the beach, like, hey, we're going to be passing through. And then everyone's like, oh my gosh. And then, just like gathers. And again, it's just like, I just feel like that's just so special. Like, I just feel honored that like people would make time in that way. You know what I mean? Because I get it. Life is busy. There's a lot going on and all this. Um, but anyway, people take the time. And that means a lot. So Eden was super fun, and it was good weather when we were there, and just like outside. We found like this cool antique car show that actually one of my cousin's husbands was at. And yeah, we took some pictures with some of the cars and stuff. And then we went to church the next day at my grandma's church, the church that she grew up in. And they were making fun of me. I thought it was so hilarious because every time we go to the church, I always want to take a picture with the sign of the church. And so after church was over, I had everybody go over by the sign and take, a picture. And they're like, Corey again with that sign. I'm like, yeah, because this is where part of my history began. You know what I'm saying? Just like picturing my grandma going to church. You know what I mean? And here I am going to the church that she's at, and here we all are, like the descendants of that. So it was like, this is history for her, and it is. It is, and I love that. We took everybody. The pictures were so cute afterwards. It was like such a sunny, beautiful day. The way the light looked on the church, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, these are so nice." So I was like, "See, I know, amazing." Um. So yeah, so that was North Carolina, and then we drove back up last night. Um, and then I definitely slept in most of the day today. I said I was gonna go to the grocery store today, did not. Kind of just needed to lay around like this today. And I feel mostly recharged, mostly. But it takes me a little while to bounce back. So we'll see. Hopefully, I won't stay up too late tonight. And then, yeah, we can get the week started. So, with that being said, I think the goal for this week is really just to kind of reset after being away last week. Um, I feel like I didn't leave things too much in shambles upon leaving last week, but I'm like when I come back from a trip, that suitcase that suitcase can stay there for quite some time. Okay? And we're not gonna let that happen this time. So let's just go over the checklist for this week. The theme is to reset, like I said, and just get back into whatever kind of feels like a routine for me. So this week I want to get my nails done, my nails done. Cause I don't know, this always helps me feel like whole and complete in some way. So I'm gonna do that. I have a dentist appointment that I need to go to. I'm gonna unpack all my bags and all my suitcases. Now, what that also means is that I will do the laundry from all of those bags and suitcases. So by the time this week ends, today is Monday. So by Saturday, those suitcases will be away and the laundry will be done and folded from that. I feel like the list could stop right there, but we're going to keep going. All right, so the next thing I have on my list is to do what I call my invoices from last week. So when coordinating the beach trip, and when collecting funds from everyone, I had included a number where a portion of it would be used for the groceries, right? So most of the money went to the cost of the house, and there was a small amount left to help with the groceries. So because I already had like a stack set aside, I just used my credit card, and so I need to pay myself back from like the grocery bill. And so anyway, I take pictures of the receipts of what we buy. So I need to do some of that. A couple of my cousins also made some grocery trips because of course, we didn't get everything the first time. So there were several folks, they call themselves the grocery store committee, that I need to reimburse and reach out to. So I want to do that to make sure that everyone, gets their money back. There were some returns from some things that I bought the week before Beach Week. I keep talking about redecorating in here, that I need to return, some things that I'm not going to keep. I also have some things I need to take to the post office to mail. I don't know why going to the post office always feels like such a trek, like such a journey. But anyway, gotta do that. I'm also trying to start something newish, which is a newsletter. That's something that I've tried before, I've wanted to do. And so on my Instagram, this is my personal Instagram. I love to just do like a dump from the month, like things that I love this month. And so I'm thinking about doing that in like a newsletter form, like all the things I loved in July, from moments, things I ate, songs I listened to. So I want to play around with something like that, as July is coming to a close. So let's see if I will get that done. I will. That's why it's on the list, because it's a will happen, not a maybe happen. Um, then I have a friend who recently moved to Puerto Rico, but she's here to visit with her boo thing, and we're all gonna meet him. And so that's gonna be fun. And so I want to make something. It's gonna be kind of like a potluck maybe type situation, but I want to make something to take to that. So that's on the list. I need to buy some storage shelves, we're gonna mount some shelves on a couple of these walls. So I need to actually just go ahead and buy them. I think I found the ones that I really want to get, so I need to go ahead and buy them. I want to hang. I have this decorative fan that I want to put over my bed here, like in this space. So I'm gonna hang that finally. I'm gonna do a little brain dump writing time. Again, I'm trying to be intentional about that. And then I also need to create, so with my family that I just was with, we try to meet twice a year. We try to have one sort of overnight stay, that we do together. So that's what this beach time was, and then we try to have a time where we hang out just for a day later in the year, usually around the holidays. So that has not been scheduled yet. So I want to send out a poll to everybody, just trying to coordinate a day. Like, we need to save the date at this point, to see what might work for folks before 2027, which is crazy to think about. But again, when you're dealing with like 20 people, all different schedules, all different things going on in life, yeah, got to get that stuff, on the calendar sooner rather than later. I have to go to the grocery store, because we ain't got no food in here since we weren't here last week. And then I want to prep 3 meals. So, I just want to have like some things already in the fridge ready to go that we can eat. So my goal is to make 3 different things. I have no idea what they're going to be, but we'll see. One thing, and maybe this is a part of the grocery store task, but if you're in the DMV, and have not heard of the People's Market, they're a Black owned, um, delivery service. They work with farmers, local farmers, and curate, fresh produce, and will deliver it to your door. So I've used them a couple of times before, and the owner and his wife are so cool. They're so dope. Um, and I just love supporting them, and they're just like, he's really passionate about bringing fresh food, um, to people, to Black people specifically, and making it accessible. So with everything that's been going on, I'm like, all right, I want to not only support, but just like eat more local, and I feel like the People's Market is a great way to do that. So I'm gonna order some groceries from them. And then yeah, we'll see how what that'll do for meal prep and stuff later in the week too. So yeah, so that's my reset for this week. Um, I'm gonna, I think what also has felt helpful is leaving the house every so often, which aside from like the beach time, I feel like I have not really been doing. So for some of this stuff, like working on my newsletter and, doing invoicing and my writing time and things like that, I'm gonna try to go somewhere. Try to go somewhere. I don't know where that's gonna be, coffee shop, library, whatever. And I think that'll be helpful too, and help me to kind of separate and really be able to reset here, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, so that's all I got for this week. I hope y'all's week is off to a great start. And, as I'm doing these videos, I know I said I was going to kind of bookend this, like start the week with, hey, this is what I hope to accomplish, and another video, like, hey, this is what I accomplished. But I don't know, it kind of makes sense to, I've been kind of like doing all of that in one video, which I feel like is helpful in some ways. So I don't know, maybe this will just become a weekly thing. But if you got to the end of this video, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. Yeah, it means a lot. And so until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you get some rest and get to reset and take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.